Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's analysis. Now, for today's episode, we will discuss about none other than Fire Lord Ozai, the main antagonist of Avatar, the Last Airbender. A tyrannical ruler who aims to and in this episode we'll analyze all that we know about him throughout the series and the graphic novels to understand Ozai and why he is like this to begin with. And now, let's begin. Ozai was born in the Fire Nation's capital in the year 55 AG to Fire Lord Azulon and his wife Ayla, and as the younger brother of Iroh. And since forever, he had kind of a horrible relationship with his brother, in the sense that both of them were pretty much pitted against each other by their father. And especially given the fact that their father greatly neglected him from an early age, as he loved Iroh more than him, given the fact that Iroh was the firstborn and thus the one man to inherit the throne, especially since Iroh had his own son named Luten, and thus Ozai was treated mostly as the second rate in comparison to his brother. And, and eventually he was even forced to marry with a woman named Ursa, the granddaughter of Avatar Roku, and both of them have two children, Zuko in 84 AG and Azula in 86. But this marriage was nothing short of hollow and pretty much empty and horrible for both of them, especially for Ursa. And while Zuko was treated with more love and kindness by their mother, Ozai always more and adored Azula. Even offended like him, she too was the second born, and thus he wanted to be a bit different from his father in this perspective. And soon by the year 95 AG, his whole life changed forever as his nephew Luten died at the siege of Ba Sing Se, and Iroh has officially called off the siege. In response to this, Ozai demanded Iroh's birthright to be revoked so he can become the next Fire Lord. Azulon, enraged by this proposal, has officially ordered Ozai to kill Zuko in order for him to feel the pain of his firstborn. And of course, while he was willing to do so, Ursa found out, and so they both of them came with a conspiracy, a plan in which will see Ozai becoming the next Fire Lord and Zuko's life to be spared. And with this, they managed to poison Azulon and kill him, and she has officially fled the capital into exile. And with all of this, Ozai has officially been crowned as the next Fire Lord of the Fire Nation, and he will now be the third and eventually the last Fire Lord to support the nation through the Hundred-Year War. And he will continue to input his father and grandfather's policies throughout his rule, as well as his own policies that are kind of even more oppressive and horrible than theirs. And soon by 97 AG, as Zuko has spoken out of turn at a meeting of the generals, things have escalated as now Ozai challenged Zuko to an Agni. Zuko refused to fight his own father, and so Ozai has literally burned half of his own son's face and exiled him from the Fire Nation in the Hundred-Year War, even saving the North Pole in the process from Admiral Zhao. But in the meanwhile, Iroh and Zuko also managed to get against Zhao's wishes and betray him. And because of this, Ozai dispatched Azula in order to capture Zuko and Iroh and to deal with the Avatar. As on tandem with her, helping to Fire Nation to take down Ba Sing Se and conquer the rest of the Earth Kingdom. As of 100 AG, as exactly 100 years of war has passed, most of these were accomplished. Ba Sing Se has been taken over from the inside by Azula, Zuko betrayed his uncle and rejoined the Fire Nation, Iroh has been arrested, and the Avatar has been seemingly killed by Azula. And now, Ozai has welcomed Zuko with the open arms back in the Fire Nation's capital, and he believed Azula's lie that Zuko is the one who tracked down the Avatar. In tandem with them finding out about the planned invasion of the Fire Nation on the day of the Black Sun, when the eclipse will occur and the Firebenders lose their abilities for one day. But before all of this, given the fact that the Earth Kingdom rebellion still continue, and Ba Sing Se, despite still being in their control, is now shaking and about to be set free again, Ozai has come with the idea to use Sozin's comet and to destroy the Earth Kingdom itself permanently and exterminate the Airbenders, thus supplanting his father and grandfather's genocides with one of his own. And while most people in the room with him supported the plan, Zuko overwhelmingly opposed it. And on the day of the invasion, as it failed as they planned, Zuko officially defected from the Fire Nation again and chose to join the Avatar and help him to defeat him once and for all. And now, as the Sozin's comet is approaching, Ozai is now planning to lead the air fleet alone and Azula to become the new Fire Lord. And now, He aims to reorganize the Fire Nation into the Phoenix Empire, with himself as the Phoenix King, as he vows to remake the world into a worldwide empire and reform the Fire Nation into his own image, this time with himself as the absolute and undisputed ruler. And now, before we continue, we will stop and ask ourselves, is Ozai evil? And I understand the question might seem stupid given all the amount of crimes he committed, but it should be noted here that Ozai does have somewhat of a tragic backstory, as he was neglected by Azulon in favor of Iroh, and hence why he is like this to begin with. However, even any of these prove to be true, Ozai in a way is far worse than his own father and even than his grandfather, as Sozin regretted killing Roku in the end of the day, and Azulon loved Iroh and Luten and sympathized with Iroh's pain and even blamed him for not continuing the siege of Ba Sing Se. Thus, while Ozai is the only one who has absolutely no redeeming qualities, and even as Ursa called him later on, he is a small man with a small heart who has no room for his brother, his son, his daughter, or even for himself. Ozai is nothing more but an empty person who tries to be big. And while it could also be argued that he might be the product of his time, as he might have been brainwashed by the Fire Nation's propaganda created by his grandfather Sozin, yet it should be noted here that when Zuko confronted him about this, it's finally revealed that Ozai does know that it's a lie and he still uses it for his own advantage. Thus, Ozai is not brainwashed and this redeeming quality does not count. And with this, the answer to the question is yes. Ozai is evil, and he is nothing short of pure evil. And at the end, his whole plan has all but ultimately failed. As the Avatar has managed to defeat him and take away his bending, his friends managed to destroy the Fire Nation's air fleet, his own brother and the White Lotus liberated Ba Sing Se, and Zuko managed to defeat Azula and claim the Fire Nation's throne. And with Sozin's comet passing, and thus the 100-Year War finally ended, with Zuko becoming the new Fire Lord, Ozai being put in prison, and the Earth Kingdom being saved, and a process of decolonization has officially started, and a new age of peace and harmony has been bring about. However, this defeat will not mean the end for Ozai, as even behind bars he will try to manipulate Zuko into becoming a tyrannical Fire Lord like himself and his forefathers. But thankfully that will ultimately fail, as by 101 AG, the Yudao crisis that threatened to start a new war between the Fire Nation and the Earth Kingdom has been solved by the Avatar. And now by 102 AG, two major things happen. The first of all is the so-called New Ozai Society that wanted to dispose of Zuko and restore him back to the throne, which it failed. And then his ex-wife Ursa came back from exile and confronted him for all the horrible things he did to her. And soon Ozai will pass away in prison circa around 124 AG, at the age of 69, dying as a broken old man who achieved nothing. So in the end, who was Fire Lord Ozai? He was nothing more but a psychopath who only wanted power and glory in his own name, a monster willing to do anything and sacrifice virtually anybody to achieve his own goals, and a monster that could easily be called as one of the most evil and most realistic animated villains ever made. Thanks for watching, don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and happy Easter everyone.
Well, look at you, Buster. Now that your firebending's gone, I guess we should call you the Loser Lord.
I am the Phoenix King.